it's Luann Pike, Lee Beauty Guide to Lime Life by Alcone. Tropical storm out in the Gulf or there somewhere down there around by Cuba today. 100% chance of rain today. Putting on my primer spray. Am I worried? No, not a bit. It'll just be a hard rain. It'll rain. I have a lot of water. It'll be windy. We'll all be fine. But yeah, hello, happy 2020. Not a good thing has happened in this year yet. We're still waiting. It's all bad. But you know what? God is here protecting us. And even in a year that's one bad thing after another, He's still got His hand on it. And I'm waiting for Him to turn everything around. Just waiting for that. Been waiting for that for like 30 some years, actually. Still waiting for that. Okay, so I'm going to put on my foundation. I'm going to show you how to do your brows today. Now, I do it every time I do makeup. But I'm going to make sure you catch it today. Make sure I kind of do it a little slow so you don't miss it. So I'm putting this up here on I'm holding my skin because I have a lot of wrinkles there. So I'm trying not to let them crease this makeup until I get done. Once I get done, it'll be fine. So I'm putting on some concealer. Then I'm going to take our translucent powder, a ton of translucent powder, and I'm going to lay a whole bunch of it right here where I have these deep, deep lines. And this is called baking in the makeup world. You're baking your foundation. And what it is doing, it will absorb the moisture out of your foundation where these lines are so it won't crease. Now, it won't crease into fine lines, but if you have really, really deep lines, you probably want to bake, which is this. So I have this line of white powder across my forehead, and we're just going to leave that to sit there and bake for a little while. That's why they call it baking. You got to just sit there and absorb. And while that's sitting, we're going to finish the rest of our face. We're doing our foundation. So I have my dessert in the oven. I baked that earlier on live if you want to go watch me make it's lemon pudding cake. Lemon cake pudding or something like that. Lemon cake pudding. Lemon cake pudding, I think it's called. It bakes into a layer of a light, like sponge cake on top with lemon pudding on the bottom. It's almost like a lemon sauce. Oh, it's so good. I haven't made it in ages. I also have a recipe similar that will do that with chocolate. So if you'd rather have chocolate, I have a recipe for that one too. Okay, so let's do, that's Shinto 0 and Shinto 1 mixed, by the way. And then I'm going to do, this one is contour. That is one of our darkest shades of foundation. It's called MB8. And it is a nice cool brown. So it's more like the color of what a shadow would be, because that's what you're trying to make it look like, a shadow cast on your side of your face. So if you do it on the sides of your nose, it makes your nose look thinner and longer. Now, if you already have a really long, thin nose, you may not want to do this part. Just skip it. And then we're going to put it here. This works a lot better than bronzer because bronzer is really not the right color. Bronzer will just make you look tan, and you want it to look like a shadow. And this is a cooler, ashier brown that looks more like the color of a shadow. So then I'm going to do also down here under the jawline, which will remove the look of a double chin or loose skin, saggy skin. It causes it to recede into the background because it throws it into shadow. And because it throws it into shadow, or what looks like shadow, and you can do it with your hand to get it the smoothest. You don't want it to look like dirt. You don't want it heavy, especially if you're real fair. You want it to look like barely a shadow. Now, I have it here under the lip too, because that will make your bottom lip look fuller once you get lipstick on. And I have, morning throat today, every day. Every day I get this. Okay, so then I'm going to do Concealer 0, which is our lightest concealer. Hi, how are you doing? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Tropical Storm Day. That's what we got going on here where I'm at. It's a heading for us. But this is just like every year for us, so Tropical storm, we go at that, It'll be fine. It'll be a lot of rain and wind. But we went through Irma a couple years ago. This isn't projected to be anywhere near that strong. I think Irma was like a category 3. This is either going to be a 1 or maybe even tropical storm. If it even hits here, and we may get the outskirts of it. I'm not sure. They're not sure. I cannot believe we're all learning the Greek alphabet now with these storms. We got to Zeta. When we got to Zeta, I'm like, oh, that's Z. We're at the end of the alphabet. Oh, wait, it's not the end of the Greek alphabet. Omega is the end of the Greek alphabet, not the Z. Like, oh, wait a minute. That's only like 5 or something. I was thinking Z. We're at the end of the Greek alphabet. Oh, no, wait. That's not the end of the Greek alphabet. I learned the Greek alphabet in the 10th grade in school. They taught us the Greek. We had to memorize the Greek alphabet. And I did back then. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, zeta, eta, theta, epsilon. I don't remember it from then on. But I kind of remember part of it. It was kind of fun because it was something new, something different to memorize. But I never used it, so I don't remember all of it now. Other than I'm using it now. Using it now with the hurricane. Thanks, 10th grade. I didn't know I was going to need the Greek alphabet for hurricane. I could probably read through it again, refresh my memory, and memorize it again, though. If I had any purpose in that. I don't forget much. My memory, I have a fairly strong eidetic memory, which is what they used to call a photographic memory. I say photographic is not really the correct term. It's eidetic. I pretty much have, I think, a fairly eidetic memory. I don't forget things. There are things I forget, but it's usually stuff I haven't focused on or tried to remember. If it's something I've thought about and like focused my mind on it, thought about it for a little while, I won't forget it for the rest of my life. I just remember, my mind just holds on to stuff. When I was 3 years old, I dropped my cousin. I had a cousin who was sort of trying to help me. He was either trying to help me or take it. I'm not sure. But I had a 7-Up bottle that I was getting out of the vending machine. And back then they were in glass bottles. And it was cold, really cold and wet and slippery. And it fell and hit the concrete sidewalk and cut my leg. And I had to go get 3 stitches. I remember it. Mom says, you were 3 years old. I remember it. I remember dropping it. I don't remember the pain. That's one good thing. I do remember that it hurt, but I don't remember the pain. But I remember all of it happening. I remember being in the car and Mom holding her arm over my leg so it quit bleeding and trying to drive a stick shift Volkswagen at the same time. Because I remember being fascinated with her trying to shift gears with her left hand. Like, how is she doing that? She had to. She did it. Luckily, the doctor was only across the Edison Bridge. I was in North Fort Myers, and the doctor was only like 2-3 miles away. I remember laying on the doctor's exam table. I remember the nurses looking at my leg. I remember them putting shots in my leg, which freaked me out at 3 years old, because I'm like, how can they do this? How can they be this mean? How can they be this mean to put a shot? Well, they were numbing it, but I didn't know. They were numbing it, but all I saw was a shot go into my leg, was already hurt. And I'm like, Mom, I'm thinking, how could you bring me here to these people that are torturing me like this? It already hurts. How can you let them put a shot in my leg? And she was standing by my head talking to me. And I had a little toy that was a little Bambi. Yep, I remember the toy. It was like a little vinyl toy that was a little, Bambi from Disney movie, Bambi, little deer. And I had it in my hand, and she said, bite Bambi. And I remember, bite Bambi? Why am I going to bite Bambi? And so, why am I going to do that? And so she had a checkbook, and it was a vinyl checkbook. It was green. See, I'm telling you, I remember details. And it was the kind that folded in half and snapped. And she handed me her checkbook and told me to, oh, here, bite this. And I'm thinking, why? Well, I know why now, because that's supposed to help you not think about the pain and cut the pain or whatever. But I'm still in my mind thinking, my mother is crazy. Why is she telling me to bite the checkbook? Why? But I did it. I did it. And my memory kind of ends there. So it probably worked. But I remember that I was only 3 years old. And I'm like, Mom, are you sure I was only 3? You sure I wasn't older? She goes, no, you were 3. She remembers the age. Because I can barely believe that my memory goes back that well. And they say children don't remember trauma. Yeah, I do. Luckily, though, I do not remember the pain. I couldn't tell you what it felt like. But I do know there was pain because I was crying and screaming. But I don't remember. I could not tell you what it felt like. So I don't remember the pain. But yeah, I remember the whole incident. The trip to the doctor, I remember it all. I think I remember it until it probably turned numb and quit hurting. Then my memory stops. But my memory lasts that whole incident. So, do 3-year-old children remember trauma? I do. I remember it. And that's not from anybody telling me what happened. My mother doesn't even hardly, she goes, I gave you the checkbook, right? She doesn't remember it. But yeah, you did. Yes, you did. I remember it. And I don't remember absolutely everything from when I was 3. But I remember that. I remember a lot of stuff that I think when I was 3. Because that's where we lived. I know where we were at. We were in this house in North Fort Myers. And we lived there when I was 3. So that's how I know I had to be that age. We moved right before I turned 6. But Mom had a clothesline there. That was one of those that it's like a pole in the ground that looks like an umbrella, and it goes around in a circle, and you hang all your clothes on it in a circle. She had a clothesline like that. And I remember going out with her, and I could climb up that pole a little ways and hold on with my knees and reach the clothesline. And I would say, Mom, I want to help. Give me something. And I remember she would give me a washcloth or something. And I would hold on with my knees wrapped around that pole and hang it on the clothesline because I thought it was fun. She would hand me something little, so she didn't want me to fall. Hand me something, it didn't matter if I dropped, not flashlight, like a washcloth. But I remember doing that. And that's not something I was told, later. Because my mom's like, I don't remember you doing that. I'm like, yeah, I did. I remember it. She goes, I do remember that clothesline. I'm like, yep, I would shinny up that pole, or shimmy, is it shimmy up the pole? And hold on, grip it, because I was real tiny, I didn't weigh much, so I didn't fall. And you would hand me something little, and I'd hang it on the clothesline. So I do have a memory, and I don't forget. I don't forget much. Once in a while I do. If I forget something, it shocks me. I'm like, it can't be that I don't remember it. That can't be. I remember everything. I actually remember the birthday I got my wagon and tricycle. Mom says it was my 2nd birthday. I'm like, oh, no, it can't be. I can't remember my 2nd birthday. There's no way. No way. I said, that had to be my 3rd or 4th birthday. She goes, nope, we got you your tricycle and your wagon when you were 2. I'm like, but Mom, I remember walking out of my bedroom and looking in the living room, and there was a blue wagon and a blue tricycle, and I remember running as fast as I could and jumping on that tricycle. I said, I remember that. And she said, that was your 2nd birthday. I'm like, I still am not sure she's right. How could I possibly remember my 2nd birthday? How could I possibly remember that? She insists it was her 2nd birthday, but okay, Mom. I'm not sure my memory's that insanely good, but okay. It's interesting. Sometimes I remember the very words people say. I think that's what goes with an eidetic memory. But there are still some things you forget. But like I said, I think that it depends on what did you focus on, and what did I try to remember it, and did it really make an impression in my mind? If it didn't really make an impression in my brain, and really, stick with it, then I probably will forget it. Possibly. But things that made a strong impression, like walking out of my bedroom and seeing a tricycle and a wagon, that made a big impression in my mind. It was like, oh, I was so excited. And so I guess that burned itself into my brain, that memory. And so did that drop in the 7-Up bottle that exploded. That really burned itself into my brain too. Because that was not a fun experience. Okay, now I'm going to do some real easy eyeshadow. I'm going to start with number 38 Cream Boat. I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to do my brows. So I'm going to show you, if you don't know how to do your brows, there are several options for brows that Lime Life has. One, you have a brow pencil. Our brow pencil, it's like a micro tip. I've got one over here if I can find it. There it is. It has, first of all, it has a spoolie brush on one end. So you get like a free brush with it. And then it has a very, very fine, kind of a firm tip. And you can fill in your brows with that. That's the most natural looking one that we have. If you need some brows, like if you have some missing brows and you need to fill in, that one you can actually draw little hairs with it. Now I have heard one of, we are associated with some professional makeup artists that give us free training as beauty guides. It's great. Love free training from professional makeup artists. They say if you need brown or black brows, you can also use our eyeliner. See how fine that tip is? And you can draw actual little hairs with this too. So you could even, if you just want just the eyeliner, you could do that. That one is smudge proof but not waterproof. But the pencil is smudge proof and waterproof. So if you're going to go out in the rain, you don't want to use that other one. You don't want the eyeliner on your eyebrow. It would run in the water, but it won't smudge if it's dry, but it will if it's wet. And the pencil will not. So the other second option we have is a brow gel, and it comes with like a miniature mascara looking brush. And you can, if you already have really full brows and you don't need to add anything, you can just brush it on your brows, and it's like hairspray for your brows. It's a brow tamer, and you can just use that. It comes in light, medium, dark, and even clear if you don't want to add any color, but it will hold your brows in place. Now, if you want, you can even put the gel on top of the pencil or the eyeshadow if you want both to shape your brows and hold them in place. So what I'm going to do though is show you the one with the eyeshadow. It's the one I do all the time. I'm going to use one of our setting sprays and put it on a little palette. You can also spray it in the lid if you'd rather do that. You don't even have to get something extra for it. This little palette I got on Amazon. It's just a little simple metal palette. It's just easier for me to see what I'm doing. That's why I like it. So I'm taking brush number 14, which has this end and the brow shaper end, and dip it in the setting spray. Then you're going to pick a color that will match the darkest part of your hair. And the one that works for me is number 28, Ashen for Trouble. Now, it looks a lot lighter than my hair, but that's because once I get it wet with the setting spray, it will really intensify the color and make it darker. Okay, so here's how you are going to do your brows. First, if you've never done them and you don't know where they go, here's how you find out where your brows should be. So you're going to anchor something like any kind of stick. That's a pencil, or this is the brow pencil. You're going to anchor it right here at the corner of your nose. And then you're going to go straight up, and right there is where your brows should start. And you can take this and make a little mark. That's where your brows start. Now where they're going to end is from here to the outside corner of your eye. So you're going to turn this till it goes across the outside corner of your eye. And right there is where they should end. So you can make a little mark there. Across the outside corner of the eye. They should end right there. So you don't want them to go any further down or any higher up, right there. Then the whole trick is the arch of your brow. Now sometimes you can see the arch of your brow. The arch of your brow is where your hair grows the highest. And I have a few little hairs that grow higher there. It's really hard to see. But the way you can find out if you cannot tell where it's supposed to go is you want to anchor it in the same spot again. And you're going to go across the outside of your iris. So in other words, with you looking straight ahead, don't look off like that. Look straight ahead. It's going to go across the outer part of your colored part of your eye. That is where your arch should be. So then you can put a little dot there. That's where your arch goes. So then you can get it the same place on both sides. Across the outer part of your iris, mark you a little mark there if you need to. Now, after a while, you will get where you have it memorized, and you don't have to do this, but it's a real cute, easy, simple way to find out where do your brows start and end. So then I'm going to take my wet brush. I'm going to dip it in this eyeshadow, and it's going to make the eyeshadow a lot darker. So you have to start out lighter. And then I'm going to draw from my starting spot at the bottom of where my hairs grow here. And I'm going to draw straight up to that where my peak goes. Just draw a straight line. That's it. Then you're going to start here and you're going to draw another straight line down to your ending spot. There's your bottom line. Then I'm going to draw a parallel line at the top. I'm going to go where the top of my hairs grow, straight up to that peak again, and again, straight down, and this is really kind of like on top of itself. There's your brow shape. So let's do it again on the other side. Start at your starting spot at the bottom. You want to try to make it look, where it's the same level as the other one. Straight up to your peak. Now you can do this in one turn if you want to. So what you do is you go straight up to your peak, you turn your brush and go down. So you don't have to lift it. You can lift it, but you can just turn your brush and go down like that. Then let's do the top one. That I got a little crooked. Now if you get a little off with this, you can correct it with concealer. So straight up to your peak, turn the brush and go down. So there you have. Now look at them and see if they look a little even. If they don't, try to even it up. Then all you're going to do now is color in between the lines with this eyeshadow, and you're just going to fill it in. And there you have shaped brows. And you also have it at the same the right starting spot on both sides. Now let's fill in the other one, and then we're going to go and kind of even them up. Because they're not 100% even. They might be a little fatter than I want them. But I'm going to show you how to fix that. Then the other thing you want to do once you get this done is you do not want just a line right here because your brows do not grow that way. It looks like you drew your brows on. So take your little brush here and you're going to blur inward. You're going to blur this line because that will look more natural, and that's how your brows grow anyway. They grow faded in the front. So see, that looks a lot more natural than this line because nobody has a line there. So just take this brush and it brushes away some of the color and makes it a softer faded look. Now that looks like a more natural brow at the beginning. Okay, so then I'm going to take my concealer. I'm going to take the concealer that matches my skin, which is concealer 2. That's closer to my skin color. And I'm going to take that on this brush, concealer brush number 6. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to like clean it up a little, where it isn't quite so hefty, because otherwise it looks a little harsh. And I also have the mark I made up here with that pencil, and over here I just erase them. So this is like the magic eraser it's like white out of the makeup world. So see, I thinned it just a little bit, which I think looks, I don't want to look like Herman Munster, I don't want to look like Mr. Potato Head and his angry eyes, and if I get them too heavy, it's a little harsh looking on me. Some people can do real thick brows. It looks great on them. I start looking a little mean. So if it looks a little thicker than what I want, there you go. Thin it with the concealer. And the concealer, this concealer, because it's professional concealer used in Hollywood and Broadway, just like our foundation is, this covers tattoos. So if it covers tattoos, it'll cover up this. I could cover up this whole thing with it. It covers it up. So even if you say, oh no, I went way out of the lines, I messed up really bad, concealer will cover it right up. You just fix it. So there you go. There's your brow tutorial. And then when I'm done with the rest of my makeup, I will spray with setting spray. It'll stay 16 hours. But see, it's already got setting spray. So it will stay. It will already stay. So I'm going to use up, I barely have any of this in here anymore. I'm going to use One Night Sand. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's like this color, only lighter. It's a light tan. And I'm going to put that. I have a refill one, but I get to use all of this up to the last drop. And I love that. My eye is tearing over here. Does that every time, every day. My eye has to tear when I'm putting on eye makeup. When I quit and my eye quits being poked at, it'll quit tearing. I think it thinks it's going to be irritated, and so it starts tearing. So I am putting this way up on my hood because I have really hooded eyes. So instead of my crease, I put way up high so you will see it. Because you don't see my crease, you see this. If you don't have hooded eyes, you can put this in your crease. In other words, if you can see your crease when you look like this, if you can see your crease, and put it in your crease and lift it a little out of your crease. You don't want it just in your crease. It will give you an eye lift if you put it in your crease and then lift it slightly above as well. It lifts your eyes and makes them look more open. It just like you had an eye lift. But because my crease disappears under my eye hood, see, so you see the crease of my eye? Right, now watch. It's gone. All gone. So I don't even bother to put eyeshadow there because you would never see it. It disappears into the abyss under my eye. Under my hood. This is your hood. The hood is where your brow bone is. And that's what shows on me, and that's all that shows on me. So if I want eyeshadow to show, I have to put it there. That's just the bottom line. So if you have hooded eyes, even partially hooded eyes, you want to put your eyeshadow where it shows. Okay, so now I have that. I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush. You want one that doesn't have eyeshadow on it. Otherwise, you're just going to put more eyeshadow down. And I'm wanting to take eyeshadow off. So I'm just going around the edges and softening this eyeshadow. And then I'm going to go to the next color, which is number 40, Taupe for the Best. I did this look yesterday with just this real light color. And I'm going to kick it up a notch today. Just barely. I'm going to go to the next shade, make it slightly darker, which is that color right there. It's a taupey brown. Taupe for the Best. I love their names. They're so funny. And I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to put this just a little darker. Not a lot, just a little. I smell food cooking. I think it's that cake. Oh, I wonder if it's done yet. Well, it'll beep when it's done, but I wonder how close we are. How close we are to it beeping. What time is it? It's time for me to go. Okay, I'm going to come back later before my live, when I do my ministry live, and I'm probably going to put on some green to match this shirt. But for now, it's going to be time for my cake to be done. And I'm going to have to go get it, so I need to be done here. So I'm going to do this light natural look today, but it's just slightly darker than the one yesterday. Just a little. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to do my eyeliner. I'm going to do it in black because my shirt has black. I'm going to do my black eyeliner. This is the eyeliner pencil. It also comes in brown because I have such watery eyes. I do the pencil because it is smudge proof and waterproof. Now the liquid eyeliner pen is completely smudge proof, but it is not waterproof. And I need waterproof because my eyes tear so bad. Now they'll quit tearing, but they'll smudge it before they quit tearing. So I do this one because this one, once you get this one in place, now if you like the smudgy look, you can smudge this. But you have 15 seconds after putting it on to smudge it, and then after that it's locked into place for 24 hours. And you need the makeup remover spray. It's called Make Off Remover Spray. You need that to remove it. I'm going to go back with my concealer, and I got it a little further down than I wanted. See, I still had concealer on the brush. Didn't even have to dip into it again because it doesn't dry. All right, let me get my powder. Put a little bit more powder here. There we go. Then we're going to do mascara, and we're going to do lips, and we are going to be done for now. Okay, there's that. So the mascara, oh, first I'm going to spray with setting spray. Mascara is a one-step fiber mascara. And I usually do a little more elaborate curling, but I'm not doing it today because I'm hurrying. Then I'm going to take my one-step fiber mascara in black. This comes in black and brown if you want a more softer look. It does come in brown. I just got that up there. And I'm going to put that on my eyes, my eyelashes. This will lengthen and thicken your lashes. The fibers are already in the tube, so you don't have to do separate steps of this. It is all one step, so it's real easy. The fibers will stay on your lashes. They will not flake off during the day and end up on your face or in your eye. Lime Life by Alcone actually invented the first fiber mascara. Theirs is the best one. It stays on your lashes. And they will lengthen and thicken your lashes. It is a really nice black. Now this mascara is not waterproof, but it is kind of water resistant. If I get caught in the rain today, as long as you don't rub your lashes if they're wet, it will pretty much stay on. Let it dry, it'll be fine. If you rub it, you're rubbing it off if it gets wet. But it is water resistant, but we do have a different mascara that's waterproof if you want completely waterproof. But that one doesn't have fibers, but it will still lengthen and thicken your lashes pretty well. And it's a really deep glossy black. It's beautiful. Now that waterproof only comes in black. But this one is smudge proof, and so is the waterproof one. This one's completely smudge proof. So it will not smudge on me during the day. It's the only one I've ever used that doesn't. All right, so now I think I'm going to do, what am I going to wear today? I'm going to wear s'mores. And let's do Cabernet. Number 7 Cabernet. Oh, my stomach is growling. I haven't eaten breakfast, that's why. And my stomach is complaining. It's like, hello, it's time to eat. Yeah, it is time to eat. And my dinner is just, my dessert, actually, it's just about done. So here is s'mores. This is my favorite. This is my favorite color now, s'mores. It's a newer one. And it became my favorite color. It's kind of natural looking. And all our lip colors, they're named after desserts. Okay, there we go. Let me know if you want to be color matched for this foundation, or if you need help with any of the colors, any of the products. I can match you. Oh, my oven beeped. 1 more minute I got. If you want to be matched to a skincare regimen that'll work for you, I would be happy to do that for you. Our skincare is all natural, and it transformed my skin. I no longer have acne, and my skin is hardly oily anymore. It really can transform your skin. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give it a try and see, because you have nothing to lose. You can just return it if you decided you didn't want it and get your money back, or exchange it, whatever you want to do. Also, I can be your personal shopper. You can give me what you want and all your information, and I will order it for you, have it shipped right to your house. Or I can give you my website, and you can browse and see what's there. You can shop on your own. You can do whatever you prefer. And if you would like to become a beauty guide, or think you might want to become a beauty guide, you do not have to do lives on Facebook if you don't want to. But if you, it's all up to you how you do it and what you do. But if you think you might be interested, let me know. I'll send you that information. There's no pressure to join. I will be back later to do a ministry live early this evening. And until then, may you have a very blessed day. Remember, it's Sunday. Stay safe from the tropical storm. I think we will all be safe. And go be amazing, because you are amazing. Bye.